everybody, it's Kristin and I have a foundation review for you guys. I've been trying this foundation on and off for a few months now, and it's the Chanel Les Beiges Foundation. It also says Healthy Glow Foundation. This is broad spectrum SPF 25, and I purchased this at Nordstrom when I was down the Chicagoland area where I could kind of get matched for it. The shade that I have mine in is the shade number 20. It's not the lightest shade, believe it or not. There are some lighter shades, but we'll talk about that in a minute. If this is the first foundation review of mine that you've ever seen, first of all, welcome. Second of all, I have a 5-category point system. So each category can get anywhere from 0 to 1 point. So sometimes it gets a half a point, whatever. And then at the end, I have a final score. And I kind of give, an overall review of the product between, now and the end of the video, obviously. So first what I'm going to do is cut to the demo of me applying the foundation so you can see what the coverage looks like, and then we'll come back and talk about the rest. Okay, so I just put a couple pumps on my hand, and I'm going to remember to just do half my face this time. I'm just going to put a few dots here, there, and everywhere. And then I'm going to grab my, this is the Beauty Junkies Beauty Blender, or Beauty Sponge, whatever. I love this one. It kind of is the best of both worlds, this sponge, I think. Not that that's what this review is about, but it kind of has that, well, it has that flat edge like the Real Techniques one, but it has the softness of the Beauty Blender. I love it. Alright, so there is one application on one side of my face. And then you guys have seen probably enough of these to know that this is how I always do it. I always do 2 light applications versus 1 like super thick application. And we'll just blend that out some more. Make sure we get that up into the hairline. And there you go. I think it's a really nice coverage. I definitely don't think it's a full coverage, but it gives a really nice coverage. Make myself match. So, and by really nice coverage, that's very descriptive, Kristin. Medium to medium full. You know how your stove has like medium, medium high, and high? This is like medium high. But you definitely could have stopped at the 1 application and just had a nice sort of, I can't talk, a nice sort of sheer to light, or like light to light medium coverage. And I'll show you in a second. The reason that I won't give this like a full coverage sort of denotation is because you can still see just a little bit where I have that kind of extra redness on my skin there. It doesn't cover that completely up, and I'm not saying it has to, I'm just saying a full coverage will cover that up completely, and it does a really good job of sort of, masking that, but it definitely, you still can see a little bit of that redness there. Okay, so as you can see, the coverage I'm giving a 0.75, and as I said, it's only because that little area right here just doesn't like to coverage, or doesn't like to cover, quite that much. You can go definitely from a sheer all the way up to, like I said, kind of a medium high sort of coverage. I guess I've never tried 3 coats. I just think that's a little bit much. And I think it would take away from what the foundation is supposed to do. I'm going to read quickly, and this is from the Nordstrom site. It just says, this let me try again. This smooth glide-on formula for a fresh, radiant complexion defends skins against environmental aggressors and provides broad-spectrum sun protection. It's available in a wide range of versatile, natural-looking shades. So it doesn't claim to do too much. But what I will say that it does is it definitely gives that sort of a glow, kind of a nice skin-like finish. But before I move on to finish, let me just say, let me reiterate, I'm giving it a 0.75 for coverage, because as you can see, it does have a nice coverage. You can go sheer, and it looks nice, and you can build it up, like I said, to about a medium high, so I went with a 0.75 for that. It doesn't really claim to be full or sheer, it doesn't really claim anything from what I could find here on the Nordstrom site, but at any rate, so we're going with a 0.75 for coverage. So let's move to finish. I'm giving it the full point for finish. I really like how the finish of this foundation looks. It definitely looks like skin, but perfected skin. Hopefully you guys can see well enough, and you can see, you know, when I was doing the demo, what it looks like. I didn't put any powder over. I just have blush and highlight on. But normally, as you guys know, I like to add a little bit more coverage and use the whatever powder foundation I'm using at that point in time. I didn't do that for the sake of this video, so you can see just, you know, the actual coverage of it. But it really is a very nice coverage and a nice... I'm getting back to the coverage again. A very nice finish. I feel like it gives you a healthy glow, just like it claims. So I really am very pleased with that, and I gave it the full point. So longevity is the next category, which is always very important to me. So I use every foundation with a primer. So I always test with a primer. You know, I used to test both ways, but I don't know, because I always use one, I just feel like it's fair at this point. So I will show you the primers that I tried it with. I used it with the Neutrogena Healthy Skin. I also used it with the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. And then I also used it with the Chanel LeBlanc, the Base Lumiere Universal. Believe it or not, the one that it didn't work very well with was the Chanel one, the one that looks exactly like... You would think that it would work with that, but it didn't. For some reason, it didn't work as well with this one. It made this primer, which normally doesn't do anything to pores, the combination of the two kind of made my pores look funny and just funny. Not bigger, but funny. I don't know really how to explain it. It was kind of a horse apiece with either one of these. So this obviously is a more expensive primer, but I was really trying to test that primer as well. Today, I am wearing the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Primer, and so longevity, to get back to that, I feel like I start seeing it break down at about the 6.5, 7 hour mark. So longevity is pretty good. I'm giving it a 0.75. I prefer a longer wear than that. However, I can get a longer wear with that when I wear it like I do a normal foundation with a little bit of a powder foundation over the top of it. So that 6.5, 7 hour mark is when I didn't set it with any powder. Now, and I should say again, I usually try to say at the beginning, I'll put it in the description box, I am a dry skin. Generally have skin that will lean drier. So foundations tend to last a little bit longer on me because I don't have that oil breaking it down. So let's just say that. But I would say, like I said, about the 6.5, 7 hour mark, if I haven't set it with any powder, then I'll start to see a little bit of breakdown. However, with just a little bit of powder over the top of it, whether it's a powder foundation or like I use the Chanel loose powder, I use the e.l.f. Complexion Perfection, I tried with a bunch of different ones, I can get to 8.5, 9 hours and then first see the sign of breakdown. So that's how it worked on me. I would be curious to know if any of you guys have tried this and have had a different experience, or if you have oily skin and have a different experience. I would be curious to know that. I'm sure other people would be curious to know that as well, so leave it in the description for us. All right, packaging. I love the packaging on this. You know, it doesn't... I've said this before, I will almost give any foundation a full point if it has a pump. I like that it's little, and it is, yeah, I was just going to say, I better double check that. It is a full ounce of product, but it's a nice frosted glass bottle, and I don't know, I feel like it's nice, little, and compact, but you're still getting a full ounce of product. So, pump, great, full point for me. Some people really prefer plastic, so it's not as heavy, but I don't travel that much. I travel a good amount, but I don't travel that much that I'm worried about it being in a glass bottle. Lastly is color range. This comes in 14 shades. So I'm giving it a 0.75. And I will say that because I feel like not only are there not a ton in the darker skin, there are a couple, and I just feel like there aren't enough. There do seem to be enough on the lighter end. I can't spit out my words today. On the lighter end of things, but on the darker end of things, I feel like there's not. And I kind of feel like there are some missing in between. 14 shades isn't bad, but I just feel like they're missing a few here and there. So I went ahead and gave them a 0.75 for that. So overall, that's a 4.25, which for me is a pretty high score. I have ranged anywhere from, I feel like I had one that only had like 2 points. And I can't remember actually if I've had any that have had a full 5 points, because there's always something I seem to be a little bit critical of. But so there you go, 4.25, and this sells for $60. So for $60, it better score 4.25 or higher, in my opinion. It is a very, very nice foundation. Again, I really like the finish of it. I wish it had a little bit better longevity without being set, but I like how it functions with powder foundation as well. So hopefully that was helpful to you. I feel like I was a tad bit long-winded today, but I just feel like when a foundation is $60, that means I should bring you all the more information that I can so you can decide whether that's something you want to spend your money on or not. And I did, of course, purchase this myself, as I said, down in Chicago. Not like Chanel's sending me any products anytime soon, know what I'm saying? With that, I do hope that you enjoyed this foundation review and found it helpful. I will list anything else that I have, you know, on my base, like the concealers that I've been using. I'll list that below. On my face today, I used the Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen palette, and I have this shade right here all over my lid, this shade in the crease, and then this shade on my outer corner and blend it in. I did wear the Does This Thing Really Work blush today, and I used this Gator Wings, which is very full of glitter, as my highlight. I also have Gator Wings on my inner corner. And I think that's everything. On my lips today, I have Too Faced Juicy Melon as my base lip product. And then over the... otherwise known as the lipstick. And then over the top of that, I have the CoverGirl Queen Collection lip gloss. And this is the shade in Starlet Sand, which looks like that. And I think that's everything. So thank you again for watching. I hope you're having a great day. And in everything that you do, be beautiful. Bye.